I do have audio. Give me just a second. It's not showing up in my mic listing. There we go. That should be working much better. How's that? That good now? Yeah, it should be operating perfectly now. Man. Yes, yes. We'll start again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and squirrels from another world. Speaking of squirrels from another world, I don't know if you guys had heard, but Chris Chan got out on bail. Weird, huh? And then all of a sudden in Tennessee, there's some sort of weird shooting that happens. Coincidence? Or is there something in the water? I don't know. Maybe we'll dive into that a little bit. Not the water. No, don't drink the water. Get yourself some bottled water. Sip on it. Maybe a Topo Chico. Maybe some naive spelled backwards. Avion. Yeah. It's naive spelled backwards. People are such suckers for that shit. Gotta love it. And then, of course, you hear that there's chemicals in the plastic that might do damage and cause men to turn to women and women to turn to men. And, oh, we're all going to hell in a handbasket. Everything's gone to shit. How much is it really going to shit? Really? Or is it just we get fed a bunch of bullshit news? It's always an interesting thought. But so, in case you guys hadn't heard, there you go. Internet on red alert after learning Chris Chan was bailed out of prison. Whereabouts unknown. Dun dun dun. That's pretty damn funny. The infamous online personality and locale, Chris Chan has also been often called the most documented person in history. Huh. Do you really believe that they're the most documented person in internet history? I mean, really? 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 But I guess they are. The dimensional merge has begun. Hey, Wolfkinder, how's it going? How's it going? Good to see you. Cool frog. Thank you. Yes. Muted it out. For whatever reason, it changed all my settings. And I knew the mic was on, just was on the wrong damn mic. That's how it goes. So, this new arc into the ongoing final saga regarding the allegations from 2021 and last year's trial with the sudden bail out of a Virginia prison. A little creepy. A little creepy. And of course, Vine Service has an email that was released 3/27/2023. The email is to inform you that Christine Chandler, with offender number blah blah, was released from custody on 3/27/2023. The release reason is bonded out. If you have any concerns about your immediate safety, please contact your local law enforcement agency. If you have an emergency, just call that 911 number. If you don't know the number to 911, call 411. They will give you the information on that. For more information, contact Central Virginia Regional Jail. The telephone number is above. Find information also available at that link. This notification is sponsored by the Virginia Statewide Vine Service. It is our hope that this information has been helpful to you. Creepy, huh? Hey, Darth, how you doing, brother? So, breaking on platforms like Twitter earlier today, news of the Sonichu creator bailout sent alarms through several corners of the web, with Same shock sentiment being shared by many due to reportedly not being a hoax this time, unlike last year's viral but fake escape. Now, if you see right here, elderly woman of Ruckersville, be aware of Chris Chan. Look at that. Age 41, male, white, out of custody, bonded out. Due to current status, updates on this record are no longer available. If you have any questions, please contact the facility. Should be room for this. I believe so. Online, the bailout was perceived by many users as seemingly random due to its suddenness, with it widely believed to be from a mysterious benefactor, as Christine Chandler would have likely bailed themselves out sooner if they could. This latest development of viral ongoing stories surrounding the controversial figure has led to a lot of speculation, confusion, and memes about Chris Chan and their newfound freedom. As you can see, everybody did a whole bunch of memes. Oh, we've identified the person who paid for the bond. His name is Samson Jekyll. Their intentions are unknown, as well as the paid amount paid. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting. And of course, you've got other people reporting the same thing, that they were arrested, the charges. And then it was the Vine website updated to show that, in fact, it was no longer in jail. And then, of course, not soon after, I don't know how much I want to go into this because I'm sure it can get pretty damn weird and go a little bit interesting on this. I don't know. It's a touchy situation whenever no, not that kind of touchy, but it's a little bit of a interesting fact that within hours there was a shooter in Nashville, and my heart goes out to all those families that are affected by this. But the news was very, how do you put it, not forthcoming on this. Not forthcoming on this at all. Hey, To Be Flair, how you doing, girl? Good to see you. Good to see you. So, I don't know, how do you approach this subject without getting yourself in all kinds of trouble on YouTube, because, well, they don't like when you talk about this kind of news. I don't know. I guess I can just dive right into it. Just dive right into it, and hopefully it doesn't get me in too much trouble. We'll see. Why don't we just ask what Joe Biden has to say about it? There we go. Here we go.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. You think I'm kidding?
I don't know what to say. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. So that's what Joe Biden had to say about it. Interesting, huh? Really interesting. So I decided to look around and see if I could find any wonderful information. And of course, yes, there were. This is what CNN had to say. Hold on. There we go. Why don't we just take it all the way back? Because that's where it really starts. Because 2 hours, 45 minutes ago, there we go. 2 hours and 46 minutes ago. That's what they talk about. Unacceptable. Children dying from gun violence. Well, it's unfortunate if anybody dies from gun violence or any sort of violence. So here we go. Shooter a detailed map of the school and shot through a door to gain entry, police say. So they knew this much. 28-year-old shooter had drawn a map of the school. There were maps drawn, surveillance entry points, etc. We believe entry was gained through one of the doors. And it's how they actually got in the school. They located the manifesto and the map. They have some writings we're going to go over to pertain to this date. They have a map drawn out of how this was all going to take place. Yeah, the school was the only target. They talk about the handguns and the AR style weapons. One rifle, another was a Armalite style pistol. Okay, that makes no sense. We believe 2 of those may have been obtained legally. Okay. Identified as a 28-year-old resident. Okay. So they identify a name. May have been determined that maps always belong on the wall. Were drawn of the school with details. And here we are 2 hours ago, working to gather more details about what happened. They interviewed the father and will continue their investigation. 2.5 hours ago, expressed the church's condolences, as they should, as everybody has concerns, prayers for this family. Grieve the loss and trauma associated with this horrible tragedy. So then we talk about what they know, what we know so far. And this is an hour and 22 minutes ago. At least 3 students, 3 adults are dead following the shooting at the school in Nashville. Thank you, Rose. Appreciate that. School is a private school. It was founded in 2001. So they talk about the school, what happened. The officers arrived. They went through the first level of the building, heard some shots coming from the second level. And that's where police confronted and stopped the shooter. That I don't know. We'll get there. So, of course, the Person has been identified as a 28-year-old Nashville resident, Audrey Hill. The shooter was armed with a handgun and Armalite-style weapons. I don't understand. 2 of those may have been obtained legally. Prior planning. Well, they talk about the planning. The manifesto. See if it shows anything about a manifesto. Nope, doesn't say anything. It just says they had a manifesto. The 3 students who were killed were 9 years old. Three adults have been identified as Cynthia Peak, Catherine Kunch, Mike Hill. Police will spend the next 2 days processing the scene, working together more details, and then more calls for gun safety legislation. Okay. So 52 minutes ago, this person who killed 6 people in Covenant School in Nashville Monday may have resented having to attend the school in the past. According to police chief, police said they believe the 28-year-old attended the school, but they weren't sure what years. There's some belief that there was some resentment having to go to that school. Don't have all the details in for just yet, and that's why this incident occurred. No. Nope. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. So because I pulled it up on Twitter just to find out a little bit. Come to find out that this was a man. Because at first I heard it was a 28-year-old woman. I was like, well, that seems a little odd. Women don't generally do that kind of thing. So that would have been a new one for me. You just don't hear about that. And then come to find out that it is a dude. But nowhere in any of the news does it show. So I checked several different news sources. I pulled up NBC, ABC, heavily armed former student. It's not heavily armed. And reading down through here, there are maps drawn of the school, surveillance, substitute teacher, custodian, school head, some students in the school, active aggressor at 10:39. They responded swift. They came upon the shooter and opened fire. By 10:27, the shooter was deceased. One officer was hurt by shattered glass. Talks about how many students that they have, how many staff they have. And talks about a 17-year-old suspect was found. Okay. Multiple shootings on campuses. Okay. So we looked there and I was like, well, maybe they got Maybe they got more information on Fox. Because they're supposed to be the right wing of news. And what do you see here? Covenant School in Nashville, Tennessee, where at least 3 children. And by the way, this was released at 2:47. You see right here, it says that the officers killed the shooter, 28-year-old Nashville woman and former student whose name has not been released. And it tells a little bit about the school, talks about the tuition of the school. But I'm not. Oh, they talk about Carrie Underwood showed up there. Hooray. And it talks about her. That's why, whenever I heard the news, I was like, oh, a woman shot up a place in Nashville. This is pretty interesting stuff. And I'm thinking, well, what does the BBC say? I mean, sometimes our foreign correspondents will actually show a little bit. What does it say right here? 3 of the victims. The adult victims has 200 students. Talks about who's there. Please name the suspect as a 28-year-old woman, Audrey Hill, who identified as a transgender. And there you go. From across the pond. It gathers more information. And of course, it says, according to the data compiled by Education Week, there have been 12 this year. But it's amazing. The first you hear of it is when you go to an outside place. Pull up this information. It's the only place that you're going to find it. New York Times, heavily armed attacker. They talk about the attacker. They identify the person's name. And it talks about how political leaders and gun control groups have responded to the shooting. Same way they always do. I'm like, so why aren't these people even talking about this? They talk about very little. Something like this happens, and it gets washed. It's washed under. So, pull up the Independent. Former student left a map and manifesto after a shooting. Has been identified. Some of this I just don't know if I can read without getting in trouble. 28-year-old is believed to be a former student at this school. Was ended by police on the upper floor of the school. Hale had gone in and fired at staffs and students. Hale was not believed to have any previous criminal record. He said the manifesto had been found at the home of this person. Wonder if there was anything found in the search that could have suggested a motive for such a crime. We have manifesto. We have some writings we're going after that pertain to this day, the actual incident. We have a map drawn out of how this was all going to take place. There's right now a theory that we may be able to talk about later, but it's not confirmed, so we'll put that out as soon as we can. Hale reportedly identified as transgender and used the pronouns he and him. Okay. In answer to question whether this might have any bearing on the motive, there's some theory to that. We're investigating all leads, and once we know exactly, we will let you know. Drake added that while there was no known history of mental illness, I don't know, what would you call it whenever you're chopping parts of your body up? I would think that's considered a mental illness. History of mental illness right there. Sorry. Sorry if you are offended. He also said Hale had been considering targeting another location which was not identified, but it decided not to because of the level of security around it. Imagine that. Right now, we believe it was a lone assailant. We don't anticipate any more of this BS at the time. Of course not. Well, there will be further damage. These people. A LinkedIn account suggests Hale was an illustrator and a graphic designer based in Nashville. Says that Hale was working for AH Illustrations and had previously been an illustrator at Nosy College of Art. It also mentioned jobs with Grocery Shopper and as a cat sitter. Don't sit on cats. Don't sit on cats. They have claws. They'll scratch. They'll bite. Don't be a cat sitter. Neighbor said, I do know Audrey. I've known him since he was a baby. I just gotten out of the shower when all of that started happening. I didn't really know anything more than that. Something was going on next door. It's just a tragic for everyone. The sweet children that were hurt, the adults, all of it. Asked if there was any warning signs. Never. She was very sweet. I don't know what happened. It's very scary. The name was released as the 6 victims were also identified. I'm having a hard time figuring out if this is a man or a woman anymore. Why don't you just say man, woman? It's pretty straightforward. Trust me, after you dig up the bones, all the shell outside isn't going to matter. They're going to look at the bones and tell you whether you're a man or a woman. Horrible. And that's all the information that I could find on that crap. So disheartening. seeing that this kind of senseless acts happen. I don't know. I don't know what to say. No, because they'll bury the whole story. The only reason that they'll be talking about the story is to take more rights away from you. Hmm. Yes. All senseless. Too many crazies. It's kind of men's fault. Yeah, I guess you could say that. It's sad. It's really sad. It's really, really, really sad. Hmm. I'm having a moment here because I just I'm at a loss for words. Just at a loss for words that because somebody with a mental illness, somebody with a mental illness does something really horrible. They'll blame video games. They'll blame the parents. They'll blame society. They'll blame handguns, rifles. They'll blame everything except for the person. The person that does this kind of cruel thing. It's like they're maybe trying to make sense out of it or something, I guess. Because as senseless as it seems, wait till you read the manifesto. If they release it. If they release it. But who knows? Will it be released? Hmm. They're waiting for the report from the biologist. Yeah. I don't know what to think of all this. I mean, I came in here thinking, oh, I'd have something really good to share some humor. I don't find it humorous. I find it sad that our news organizations won't report the truth of what's actually happening. They won't talk about it. They'll whitewash it to oblivion, and it just gets tucked away silently. As a kid, growing up where I grew up, I was bullied a lot. Never once did I ever think, oh, a lot of kids in my class were bullied. Eh, wasn't uncommon whenever you have two competing gangs. It wasn't uncommon to be bullied, but never once did I ever consider doing this kind of outrageous crap. Wasn't even a thought. I don't know. It wasn't fear. I just saw it as there's more beyond. Then I moved to New Mexico. It didn't get much better. You become a target pretty easy of bullies whenever they know they can bully you. And so I decided I wasn't going to be a target anymore, and I fought back. Never once did I ever think of causing harm, and I was a loner through high school. I had maybe two friends. I did like to hang out with the ladies though. They just liked to hang out with me, I think, because I didn't try to hit on them. They weren't really my type. I didn't like the bear claw thing. I liked more of the geeky girls. I don't know. I liked the punk rock girls. They were more fun. I had a good attitude. Or bad attitude, which I found good. Twisted like that, I guess. So, yeah. Then I got out of school and went in the military. Amazing how that worked. Learned how to actually do damage to people. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the thought of the military. I like the idea. I know that I'm capable, but I wouldn't want to use damage, lethal force against anybody if I possibly can avoid it. And I carry. I mean, I have for quite some time, but just I won't engage. If I can talk my way out of it, I would do that. Or just walk away. Sometimes it's the best way. Lose the ego of wanting to fight with people. I mean, sometimes you have to stand up, but going in guns a-blazing is not the way. I mean, my heart goes out to those families. That's three families that are never going to see that child again, except right before they put them in the ground. That's another three families that are not going to see their loved ones again, except before they put them in the ground. Because of somebody with a mental illness. That they won't acknowledge had a mental illness. Cause that harm. That's a little heartbreaking. Yeah, it's not hard. It's not hard to walk away. It really is. It's not hard to walk away. Walking away, cooling down, sorting your thoughts. If you're drinking, drunk, on drugs, any number of things can be going through your head, and afterwards you have to say, damn, I screwed up, sorry, or whatever. Somebody always ends up getting hurt because of it. Walking away. Walking away is a good way to end a conversation, and when cooler heads are prevailing, find out it's not as much. What about that? What about Chris Chan being released? Well, I already showed that, but I can show it again. Because I was a little surprised whenever I heard that myself. And it's I don't know. I just talking about people with mental illnesses. That's all I was doing. Talking about people with mental illnesses. There you go. Chris Chan released. Yes. It is. If you don't know who Chris Chan is, I actually sent out a holler to one of the foremost entertaining people to talk about it, because I thought they would weigh in. But of course, they're actually planning on heading out of town, so they weren't able to jump in, which is fine. Maybe they'll talk about it tomorrow. But I sent out a little invite to them and see if they wanted to weigh in on it. But that's okay. So there you go. Was released right there, 327. There you go. What about Chris Chan being released? There it is. Whereabouts unknown. Look at that. That's creepy. That right there is a man that tells everybody they're a woman. Edward, we don't know who. All we know is he was bailed out. That's all we know. That's all we know. If you don't know about Chris Chan, don't search any further. If you have no idea about Chris Chan, do not go looking for Chris Chan. Man, it's rough. Nope. But there you go. Christine Weston Chandler, or better known as Chris Chan, 41, male, white, Virginia, released, out on bond. That's it. No more notification than that. Yeah. Watch Memes coverage if you want to know. Yes. Absolutely did. Absolutely did. Meme covered it, but there was also a another person that did a biography, and I forget the name off the top of my head. And Meme has sort of covered it and talked about it extensively and gone into a little bit more detail. I think I enjoy Meme covering it a lot more. Or Barb, I don't know if I'm not mistaken, she's in jail also. I could be wrong. Sorry to hear that, Sage. Man, that's rough. I went to a private school all up until eighth and ninth grade. Eighth and ninth grade, I was in private school from like third or fourth grade, something like that. Yeah, I think fourth grade. Yeah, sounds about right. And it was in a private, independent, fundamentalist Baptist church that was running the PACE system. It was very, very creepy. My sister graduated from it. The private school was good in many ways. Very good in many ways. It did give me some insight into different outlooks and thoughts, especially when you start looking at the weirdness that is out there in the world, or the weird beliefs of that. Churches, they're good. They're good for some people. For people like me, church is not a good place to go. I get in too much trouble. But you also have to remember that we are all flawed. We're all human. We're all flawed. If you're looking for perfection out of a place that demands it from the parishioners, you will always be disappointed. Nothing wrong with a good religious background. They didn't like me because it was a Baptist school, and at the time I was going to a Methodist church. I didn't seat well with them. Why did I go to a Methodist church? It might have been because my father's family was Catholic, and my mother's was, I don't know, what do they call that? Where they speak in tongues. It's not, I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, so they decided equal medium would be Methodist. I mean, you got one that dances with snakes and the other one that dances with, priests. I don't know. Pentecostal. There you go. You got it. You got it, Pentecostal. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was really crazy. Really crazy. My mother believed that laying of hands could heal people. Of course, my mother also believed that she worked for the FBI, flying planes, stopping drug dealers. Just saying, I've seen what mental illness looks like. I don't think she ever would have chopped parts off. Probably off of me if she could gotten away with it. She's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She burned all of my Star Wars paraphernalia, saying it was of the devil. Do that to a kid. sometimes just do church on my own at home. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with having beliefs. I think that everybody should have something that ties them to the rest of their community, the rest of the world, you know, and in a good way. Be good to people in a good way. Share your beliefs in a good way. I mean, like I said, I believe in God. I don't buy into Jesus, not Christian. But I'm not saying that that's the correct way. I say it's the correct way for me. Other people are welcome to have their beliefs. Hopefully it all works out well for everybody in the end. That's what I want for everybody is to have a nice, peaceful life. But yeah, back to the church shootings. Luckily, I've never had to be around anything like that. I've never had to be around anything like that. I don't know how I would react. Would I go running in head first without a care in the world? Or would I go run in the opposite direction without a care in the world? I don't know. One would like to hope that they would run in and do what they could to put an end to that kind of horrificness. And it's probably a good thing that shooter is not going to be around anymore. Thank God they ended that thing. Call it a thing. If I can't decide what you are, thing. Person is responsible, but I want to know who knew this person, what the hell they knew too. Yeah. I think a lot of people would. A lot of people would like to know. A lot of people would like to know what knew who. Sorry, Cloud. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it heavy. I was trying to be lighthearted about it. Sorry. My deepest apologies. Hopefully somebody can bring some more cheerful stuff up. I just can't think of anything cheerful with this. I really can't. Why don't I take a look and see if there's anything else that's of interesting news? There we go. I got one for you. How does that make you feel? More cheerful? Does that make you feel more cheerful? See, there's so much I just cannot talk about. I would love to. Here's something for you. So on Saturday, one of Senator Rand Paul's staff members was allegedly attacked in D.C. The press release from the MPD states the officer received a call 1300 block of H Northeast and references stabbing upon arrival. Paul, a staff member, was there suffering from stab wounds, and the suspect, later identified as 42-year-old Glenn Neal of Southeast DC, had fled the scene. A witness to the incident said that he and the victim were walking at the listed location where Neal was hiding behind a corner and jumped out to stab the victim with a knife multiple times. That witness says he grabbed Neal before Neal ran away. Second witness saw Paul's staff member was bleeding from the head and called the police. Paul made statements on it. Neal was arrested, charged with assault. Neal had been released from prison the day before this occurred, according to the Federal Bureau of Prisons. What I need is a cheer up. That's what I need. I need someone to cheer me up. I'm gonna get someone to cheer me up if they're available. If they're available. Well, she'd have to want to. You want to come on here to be Flair? I know you've had a long day. I had a long day also. Nothing like filing leaves of absences for like 50 or 60 cases, something like that. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I don't know. I don't know. Rand Paul is your to be Flair, that puts a smile on my face. I hope it put a smile on yours. Rand is my second senator. I think he's awesome. Yes, absolutely. There's only so much I can do with certain topics. Yep. When you taught one was real, one wasn't. Luckily, no one got hurt. That's a good thing. Well, to be Flair, I sent you an invite in Discord. Go check it out if you want to come on. You're welcome to. If not, I might have to grab Valhalla and let him come in here and taunt me viciously. Is that what you want to see? You want to see Valhalla come in here? Just roast me viciously. Nobody likes Darth. Don't invite Darth. No, it's not that. I don't want to go for 3 hours and you'll get talking and then I won't be able to shut the damn stream down, Darth. That's why I don't invite you on. I love Darth. He's fun, but he will keep me on for way too damn long. And I'll feel bad whenever I shut it down. But I'll bring Darth on if 2B Flair comes on. How does that make you feel there, 2B Flair? Mm-hmm. A little scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, Valhalla. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, little buddy. Yeah, everybody likes Darth. Darth is good people, man. I just know with Darth, he'll get me talking for like hours. And I don't want to. I don't want to be up until the wee hours. Stream is bringing light. The Tennessee shooting, how messed up it is. Oh, dude, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. 2 babies out for the first time. He'll have one up. If you guys have not seen Valhalla Wait stuff, he's got the baby goats. He has got the baby goats. But it is it's a hmm, hmm, I don't know how to put the point of bad mental illness is bad mental illness. The fact that Chris Chan got out on the same date that somebody goes and does something a little weird and crazy by shooting up a school in Tennessee, and they both happen to be transvestites, transgenders, dudes dressed like women, women dressed like dudes. I don't fucking know because they can't make any sense. They're saying they identify as he and her and she and him and it and shit, and I don't know. Do your thing, but leave me out of it. Don't do damage to other people. After good measure, make sure they stay down. Like my mom says. That's funny. I'm not telling you to start a fight, but I'm instructing you to finish it. And when you do, make sure to punch them again for good measure. Make sure they stay down. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Just end the fight. Now, Valhalla does have young rabbits now, too. Young rabbits. They do not have his eyes, just so you know. They do not have his eyes. He has posted videos. If you haven't checked out his shorts, he's... Damn it. If you haven't checked out his short videos, you haven't seen anything. Easter bunnies. Tell you an interesting story. My sister, my older sister, I was really young at the time, and my mother had just got done. It was my older sister had just gotten done telling me there was no such thing as Easter bunny. Now, we lived on a farm, so we had this large front yard. I guess it was a front yard. We lived in a farmhouse, large front yard. And my mother had gone out there, my father had gone out there, and they set out the eggs that we colored up the night before. That's whenever, you had the dye, you dip them or draw on them and stuff. So they had put all the eggs out there. My sister, she's telling me there's no such thing as an Easter bunny. My mother's like, yes, there's no such thing as an Easter bunny. Hooray, hurrah. And I looked out the front, and what do I see? Hundreds, not just a couple. We're talking hundreds of rabbits all hopping around in the front yard, sniffing where the eggs were, doing their little thing, checking everything out because it was a big front yard. And of course, the bunnies were just everywhere. Everywhere. Let's do this. We will open this channel. All right. So here we go. I will do this. Why was Chris Chan released? He got out on bond. But per request, because we need some joy, we will show the baby rabbits.
Finally got a chance to record some of the rabbits. Oh, they're cute, aren't they?
Look at that.
These are Rex rabbits.
Fluffy.
And I'm fairly certain that I've separated the girls from the boys.
We shall see.
And I guess it's basically a matter of time before I find out for sure, right? So, new endeavor. Let's learn about rabbits, y'all. Let's learn about rabbits.
See, I've already hit the like button. Why have you not?
Finally got a chance to record some of the
Why
rabbits.
have you not hit the like button? Fanta. Eric. It's a good thing that Eric doesn't know anything. It really is. It's a very good thing that Eric doesn't know. Very good thing that Eric doesn't know. That would be creepy. Well, Toodles, they're really sweet too. Yes, they are. Yes, they are sweet. Ooh, be very careful with the rabbits. We had over 400 at one time. Ow. No clue to be Flair. That's what it said in the article he showed. Yes. Stay happy with that decision. It is a lot. It is a lot. I like that genetics project. Wow. That is a hell of a project. Having over 400 rabbits. Wow. Well, I've actually watched Meme Copian's take on it. It gets dark. What is it now? 76 long episodes? Yes. Something like that. I think it's 76. And I'm sure there will be even more coming up. Oh, that's very cool, Rabbit. Worked with Color Genetics. Nice. Night of the Lepus. Yes. That was Giant Rabbit's favorite scene. They raided a grocery store, knocking over the shelves. Yes. That was so much fun. The Giant Rabbits. there was one that scared the hell out of me where these people were deleting themselves and coming back because they sold their soul to the devil. And there was one scene where they're driving down the road on motorcycles, and one of them was buried alive with a motorcycle and rode out of the dirt. And there's one scene where because I was so little, I can't even remember the name of the movie, but they're riding alongside a 18-wheeler, and they just like put like their switchblade into the side of a tire. If you've ever like tried to do that with a tire, it would mess you up really bad. But they stabbed the tire with a switchblade and cause it to flip over and cause havoc. Yes. How long before the shoes removed from the news cycle because it was a tranny? Well, they'll make different news out of it. That's what they will do. They will make new news out of it. They will make it seem like there was this horrible person that was mentally disturbed. It was the church that caused it. It was the school. It was video games. It was everything was wrong with the world. The weapons, says upcoming. Huh. Cool. Hit refresh. Maybe. Yeah, I've actually noticed that on other people's channels too, that it says upcoming. I had that happen on I think Cool Frogs this morning. Whenever I got on, it was showing as upcoming, and I clicked on it, and he was actually live. I don't know. I think everybody's just doing that, Darth. Well, I think it's with everybody. No school shooting is going to help the woke movement. Sure it is. Always does. Can see it wasn't a tranny, it was an impersonator who was crazed. It was somebody that was definitely demented. They had mental illness. So weird. Refresh isn't working lately after a re-entry. Weird. So glad all you folks are here. Really. Really. And I know that our great friend, the expert, is going to be going on here. I know that he's probably going to be talking about this also. I'll look and see. He said that he was going to be coming on. I don't see him there. Thought for sure he was doing a live. Yes. So he is doing a live. He will be going on at 9:30. I would switch you guys over there to him, but what I'll do is I'll probably be ending my stream at 9:30. Just because I know that you wonderful folks enjoy the expert too. We all enjoy the expert. Yes, go ahead. If you come on, I'll go a little bit late. Have you come hang out? You are Eastern time. Yes, of course I'm Eastern time. It's not my fault you're in Texas, woman. And if To Be Flair begs me, she'd have to beg. I'll bring Darth on. That'll really freak you guys out. Darth ran a long stream today. I was able to catch a little bit of it. I couldn't stay on for very long. Like I said, I was in the middle of doing a bunch of filings today. But I'll let this lovely young lady cheer me up What do you guys think? Can we hear a round of applause?
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
Oh, I will.
So you know about Chris Chan.
I know enough, and it's I know things about consuming things that we shouldn't consume with
Yeah.
like Shasta, is it, or something of the like.
Right.
It's really good to see you, and this has been so depressing, but thank you.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to
It's
depress
okay.
you.
No, it's important for us to it's important to ruminate on it to some point and go. But I think that we need to get to the point where it's like, you know what? Like, what was it? Network. Did you see Network in the 70s? I'm
Yeah.
mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Yes.
Right? I think that we need to get to that point without, the guns. But what do I know?
Well, I think one of the things that is the most frustrating part of it is there's a lot of things you can't say on YouTube without getting your channel
Right.
removed.
I understand.
So it's hard to really discuss this, and
I understand.
I'm having a hard time finding the words to do it because I'm
Right.
just like, damn it, there's so many things that I want to freaking
Right.
say.
Where's your ball gag when you need it?
You haven't given it back. You haven't given it back.
I know. I keep.
Oh, I know.
You're shedding some light on some real stuff that's going on, and it's important for us to hear. It's really sideways and not cool. And I think that collectively we need to start taking a little more emotional responsibility and societally some responsibility. I think that technology has played a large role in that. But what do I know? In the individualism and the me. And that I was talking with Eric about this earlier, and I'll give you, I'm doing it very quickly because I try to get
Go
as
ahead.
much as possible, but that this individualism, which I think is great, but I think of my grandmother who is dead, but grew up during the Depression. And a big part of that was individualism didn't exist, baby. It was cool. You feel like that? Cool. Guess what? We're trying to survive. And I think that's a part of the woke, the current psychology or the politics is that kind of where I lay my hat is that, look, we like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And the self-awareness that we think that, or that some people think that we're at. How about we make sure that everybody's bellies are filled and that they live through the day? And then we can get to that point.
So I'm thinking we just need more hardship.
Well,
Make it harder on everybody, and then they have less time to. I mean, that's what the Soviets did.
Everybody's shackled, though.
Make it rough on everybody. Where just to survive, you tend to make yourself a little tougher.
No, I know. I completely agree. I just think that a big part of the give and take of the current, the current political system is that a lot of what occurs is that the power is in shackling and people being financially dependent. And I've met quite a few people working at a public hospital where they would much rather shackle and get the free ride than they would actually have a voice because it's so short term. But again, what do I know? It's just my mom always told me that, more that you involve the government, that the more that you suffer in the end, and just try to be as self-sufficient as you can. That's really just carry your own buckets of water if you can. And if you need help, then you ask for help. But again, I know that is a very antiquated idea. So as I say, what do I know, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody in society should be able to get along. But it's almost like there's someone feeding distaste and distrust and horrible crap to everybody. I can't figure out who it might be that really wants us to not just get along with one another. I mean, nothing comes to mind at all. I mean, Holy
It does
Pete.
for me. The people who benefit from whatever that different little societal microcosm is, it doesn't make sense to us because it doesn't overall make sense. And I agree. I think that it does for certain people. It behooves them so that they do pit us against each other. Again, I may be short sighted in that. I think it's all crap, and I think we need to start thinking for ourselves.
Yes. I think that we're harder to control when we think for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, whenever you get that news report of something bad happening in another state that's, you know, pretty close to home. I mean, Tennessee's just right up the road from where I live,
Mm-hmm.
and that hits pretty hard. And I mean, I'm not all about Christian schools and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I went to one, but I mean, they just, if I had kids, I probably wouldn't send them. I'd probably homeschool them. I don't have kids, fortunately, for the kids. I'd be
Right,
horrible.
right. I feel you.
Be
I feel you.
horrible.
Same, same.
So it's like, you know, and because I went to one of those schools, I don't have a whole lot of love for them. But on the same hand, I don't wish those places harm. I don't wish any children harm. That just,
Of course.
it's like, how
Be
can
an
you be
asshole if you did.
how could you be that disturbed to think that that's okay?
Because you don't care about anybody else, and that somehow at 28, and that's the thing. I was looking at the age, and I don't want to say blessed, but having been born in 85, I was born in kind of a weird era where I still know how to shake somebody's hand and look them in the eye and have a conversation and not have the phone be an appendage of my personality. Not that it's not to some extent, but still that I'd rather pick up the phone and call and schedule an appointment than I will all this email BS, just because it's just not my jam. It just takes too much time. If I call, get it to the point, just slap it on. And I'll tell you something else though. God, he's snoring back here.
That's okay.
But I went to Catholic school and my mom's Buddhist. And I have to say though that really, besides a couple of twisted ideas that were sent to me regarding my saviorship from not being baptized, that overall that I learned quite a bit about. And guess what? It made me learn to tolerate existing for an 8-hour day, and not and learning to play nice in the sandbox. And I think that's the big part of this. Is it look like Alan Watts, the philosopher, says, if something doesn't jam with you, find another game. It's not that life is a game, but it's an allegory. And to find something else that is your preference. But you don't have to take it out on the universe.
Well,
And if you feel like you do, then you need to talk to somebody before you do that. Because guess what? You're screwing up so many other people's sense of reality before you start jacking up your own, you
well,
know?
you said something at the very beginning of
Yeah.
that I found interesting is that there's all these people. It just something you said sort of
Mhm.
set my mind whirring like a million miles an hour,
Okay.
as it always
Okay.
does.
Cool.
Um, this this particular person, can't tell whether it's a man or a woman acting like a man or a man acting like a woman. I
I told
really
you my
confused
thoughts.
because
I went,
there's,
of course, it's a guy that started it.
of course,
No
yeah. I
offense.
mean, I just don't see women doing this. But okay, say for example, it is a woman, and they've started taking testosterone and flipped their fucking rocker and started doing something bad because they said they identify as he, she, or he, him, and I was like, okay, so is it a man dressed as a woman or a woman dressed as a man? The name can be, I've known Audreys that were men, I've known Audreys that were women. So it's like, okay, I'm not, huh?
What's the Audrey version of male? I know it doesn't matter, but my ADD wants to know.
Audrey, the actor. You had Audrey Hepburn, and which was a woman,
Okay.
and then you had what's the other one? Was a military one. I can't think of his name.
Color me curious. I'm gonna look this up though. Sorry, didn't mean to derail.
No, anyhow, but no, and I also I've met a man named Audrey before, and he, was just that was his name. I'm like, okay, whatever. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's a man acting like a woman acting like a man. I suspect it was a man acting like a woman, and because it was a Christian school, which
Mm-hmm.
what kind of school was that? Presbyterian?
The one that this occurred at was a Presbyterian, correct?
Yeah. So I mean, they tend
Which
to
is
be.
weird because they're super liberal. Like if you want to go with any of the Jesus died for our sins and like they are the most liberal. Okay,
Ah,
they don't believe in
Audrey.
transubstantiation. No, really. So transubstantiation.
I was wrong. I was wrong. It's Audie
Okay.
Murphy.
Valhalla, your aces. What's up, brother? And good
Valhalla's
and congratulations on your rabbits. I want to see video.
He's got 2 more goats.
I know. I heard. What up? Shut up.
No, he hasn't posted any videos on it yet.
I know. I want. That's what I was saying. Is when do I get to see more? Show me more.
Yeah.
More. Look, the whole thing is icky. I think that we need to start taking a little more social and communal or community responsibility. And that's a tall order with how we exist now, with everybody being behind computer. I mean, there's just this lack of responsibility. Even in Dallas, I've noticed in the past 30 years that people suck at drive. I mean, there is just a screw you when people drive. And I've learned that I have to just defend myself. And that's why, and it's funny, but it's not that, I mean, when I drive, I unroll the window and I hold my hand out and I make sure I'm wearing bracelets and and jewelry. So people know not to jack with me, or if they want to, it's just think twice, because really I'm not coming for you, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm very do no harm and I'm take no shit.
Yeah.
And I have a very hard time bending the knee to people that are icky to me. I've always said that if I were a character in Game of Thrones, I'd be Arya, because I come for them just as much as they come for me, which is not always all that beneficial.
Yeah.
And I've got to learn when to. But the thing is that this has got to stop, and we've got to figure it out. And I think, sorry, I got to turn that off. That's my fault. Is that me? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
My fault. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
And
that's sort of what
societal.
Where I was going with this is there's what it's not as much about the delusion of the person that is thinking that they need to be chopping parts of their body off or self-mutilating. It's the people that go along with it. Whenever at any point in time they could have said, this is a bad idea, let's get you some help.
Mm-hmm.
At any point in time they could have taken that step and gotten this person some help. A guy that I worked for, I went to, what was it, Idaho. Yes, Idaho. His sister and brother-in-law own a B&B up there. They've owned it for many years. Went up there to help them put a new roof on this thing. And this is a massive house. But he went to go visit the rest of his family. One of his brothers is still living there. And I think he had 2 brothers and a sister. And so he went to go visit one of them. And, come to find out his oldest son started having like these suicidal thoughts, and went to his dad and was like, Dad, I'm like, there's something not right. I don't want to feel this way. And immediately he just, he's like, we will find out what's going on. And, I want my son to get some help, which they did. He's actually graduated, college now.
That's excellent.
But at the time he was going through some issues, and it wasn't like he was being bullied at school. It wasn't like somebody was trying to feed him, any weird bull stuff, or, he just had that confidence because his dad was always talking with him and said, "Hey, let's go get you some help and figure out what's
That's a
going on."
wonderful father.
Yeah, I mean, and no matter what it is, I'm what we're gonna work our way through this. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on you, but
Which is exactly what needs to happen when this sort of crap, when it comes up. That's why I want to know.
instead of saying, instead of buying into their BS, where it's just like,
Mhm.
well, that sounds like a good plan, son. Here, let me go buy you a new
Right.
toy. It's like there's just
But
this
that's
disconnect.
accountability. And that's what I want to know with this is who this individual is ultimately responsible for everything that happened. With that being said, I want to know who is around them.
Yeah.
I
Who-
do. I want
That's
to, and
true.
it's not to say that they are responsible because we are ultimately responsible for what we do. However, I want to know what was percolating, what
Yeah.
was going on, who knew what, who didn't say something when they should have. And the thing is, unfortunately, this is a sore lesson for a lot of us. And
Well,
you know, and it makes me sick.
this is one of the reasons why I don't want to be in a city.
You're not
This is
missing
what.
out.
No, I mean, I live in Atlanta, not
Oh
in
well,
downtown Atlanta.
God
So
bless your heart.
I've got tons of people here, lots of people that live here, and
I'm
if I
looking
could
to move too.
I want to get the hell out of this city. I just I grew up around cities and I hate them. The
I
more
feel
that
you
I
do.
get away, the more
I
better I
feel
will
you
feel.
100%. If there was something that was feasible financially, I would do it.
Yep, that's where we're at. Also,
Right? See, you get it.
oh yeah,
There's no commerce. The problem is the commerce, and the even if you want to do remote, it's tough. And so you said you did roofs, so I assume you may do carpentry, although I'm not positive. But you
I,
had said you'd helped with a roof,
I can
so
I can do carpentry, metal work.
nice, you lucky beehole. I want to learn how to do metal work.
Oh, metalwork's so easy. It is so
Shut the
easy.
front door. I want to learn. I was living with an artist outside of Abilene. He was a hippie, but then I didn't want to bang for my dinner, so it didn't really work out. It was a couple of years ago, and I was gypsying a little bit. But yeah, I wanted to do that. But in Kaufman, which is like it's 45
Yeah, I work off.
minutes southeast of Dallas, Dallas, they don't have. I mean, what for legal? The option is working at the courthouse, and everybody. It's just like all good government jobs that are holding it tight, right? And there were very few law firms, and it just kind of I'm going, well, f me very much, right? And so I worked at a bakery for a little bit. And then I just went, you know what? And then I gypsied to California for a bit, and I came back, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get back to it. So it's tough, is the thing, and it's tough to be an eagle and independent in any of those environments. So I don't know. We'll have to jam. We'll have to talk. We'll have to
Yeah,
jam.
yeah. We'll have to do.
Create our own collective, and we'll be a loose connected collective. Still, I was thinking about that though. I was like, why don't we just like, can I just buy like thousands of acres and go, okay, fine. You want to do whatever the hell you want to do. You go do it on that 5 acres. You involve anybody. You sign your shit away. Anybody that comes up on it, that's you. And I don't really know because I don't want all the policy and crap. But there's an idea there of just not making everybody. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, and this right here is spot on. Why I'm also in an unincorporated part of the city, so
Yeah.
I found it much easier to deal with being in the unincorporated parts. The house that I did a lot of like internal fixing up. I mean, we spent 7, 8 years in that house, my wife and I,
Mm-hmm.
and it was small. Whenever I say small, I mean really small. Um, it just sold for over $500,000.
Well, what happened? So did you get a piece of it or what?
No, no, it was
Oh,
we sold out of that what is it, 5 years ago, going on 6 years ago, and bought this place where we're at now. I do not regret it. I mean, our house currently could be well into the $700,000-800,000.
Keep it and keep rocking.
Yeah, pretty much until we're ready to move, which won't be very long.
Right. Oh, really?
I mean,
Okay.
looking at probably within the next at least 5 to 10 years, and
Oh, well, that's not like the next 2 months, so
No.
whatever.
it could be sooner.
So, like right around the corner, I'm like, okay, well, that's new.
Well, because here in Georgia, they've started changing up a lot of the in-person stuff, because a lot of the judges are going, oh wow, we could just do this remotely, which means I don't have to. I can be done with my day early. I can just sit here and knock this stuff out. Unless you're like Judge McBurney, which, I mean, he actually does live streams of all his hearings.
I was just about to ask you that, because there's one here in Dallas. I watch her, but she's fuego. Her name is Monica Purdy, and she is so on point. So,
Well,
what is his jam? Is he older? What's his jam?
I would say he might be in his 60s, and he's just straightforward, knows criminal law, and
Is that
just
his primary practice?
yeah.
Or-
He does a lot of the real estate litigation also, and he's not great at it, but he understands enough that whenever somebody comes to him with something, he can go, oh, okay, I know what this is. I know what you're asking. You don't have to walk me through it, kind of thing. But with criminal stuff, yeah, you go in there and he's going through cases left and right. He's always just upfront with all of the people. This is what's going to happen. You're going to have probation. Are you fine with this? He just works right through it. He doesn't, everyone, I have not seen anyone give him crap. How you'll see some of these judges where
Right.
people are, trying to run some stuff, and he doesn't tolerate it. He doesn't.
Right. No, I feel you. What I have is, so Judge Monica Purdy here in Dallas County. I was doing, just out of curiosity, I was doing some kind of fiddling around, and I found that on the website they had a YouTube channel. And I went, well, I'll be, and we had trial in front of her. So I went, I'm going to watch her behavior to see what she expects, because they have a 2-week running docket. So basically they're like, hey, if you're on, you're on, and we're not going to really tell you, but things roll over. And the bosses wanted to know if basically they were going to be seen, because they weren't ready per usual. So, it was a med mal case, but I watched how she ran her court, and I told him, I said, look, I was like, hey, here's her court. It's on YouTube. 2, she keeps it tight. And she does. And then, but the thing is that she's a little bit of a tease, because she doesn't tell you. She goes, okay, so have you submitted your order through Odyssey? Okay, well, I'll sign it by the end of the day. And I'm like, oh, you tease. Oh, I can't know unless I sign into Pacer.
You know how much I hate Odyssey right now.
No, I don't. Color me curious.
Well, because they did an update to it and it jacked everything up. Like,
Did
we
they?
we have one here in Georgia. It's called Peach Court. And with Peach Court, if I want to file a leave of absence, I just log into it, and there's a little particular spot where I can select all the cases we're involved in and submit one form, and it does it for all the cases
Otherwise, you have to submit a vacation letter, don't you?
except for one county. They want to have the header. They want to have all of the other information. The rest of them are just like
Templates are your friend.
And now with Odyssey, I've been working on those like all day today, just getting all of the other 50 cases that we have. Most of them are just quiet titles, so they're non-contested kind of things. But yeah, we've got like 50 of those I've got to get sent out. So it's just
So
like,
good. No, we'll just do you have the mail merge? Can't you do a Microsoft Word mail merge?
not on that.
Okay, well, I'll hit you up after this. We'll jam. We'll jam. I have ideas.
Yeah.
I have thoughts. I mean, you're gonna still have to file them, but it'll make the whole process.
Oh
of,
no, I've got all that stuff already done.
Oh,
It's
well,
just
then
a
it sucks.
matter of
You're just gonna have to
filing them up.
submit them.
Yeah. It's just a matter of filing them. Like whenever I did Peach Court, I had like all of like my whole email just was filled with all of these leave of absences that were accepted, and I'm sitting there going through each one of them because you can also archive the case if you're
Mhm.
if it's not active anymore. For example, one of the things we run into like an interpleader where you have money left over that's supposed to go to specific people, but you can't find the people. That money just gets held by the clerk. We get paid, and then if somebody decides to go get their money, they can at any point in time. They just have to hire an attorney to go for it at that point. It becomes more difficult. We try to resolve that stuff outside of it, like get
I
a
forget what type of law you do. What type of law do you do?
real estate and title litigation. So a lot of barments, interpleaders. Interpleaders are money
Right?
that the state holds after a tax sale. So the county, for example, if your property goes on the chopping block, there were $1,000 back taxes that were owed, then they basically will foreclose on it. They'll do a tax foreclosure on it, and they'll sell it on the courthouse steps. I think it's the first Tuesday of every month.
You guys better make
Yeah.
some money for this boringness.
They'll do a cry out. No, and well, we have to run a title report. So most of what we're not making a lot of money off of it. We just do the volume that it makes it worthwhile. And there's a lot of people that do it, and a lot of people do it wrong. Hey, DJ,
Right.
you take care.
It's like it's yeah.
Yeah. So
I get
so there's excess funds that are left over. We get a portion of that taken out of it to cover the cost of basically searching everybody out, making sure that everybody's
Right.
aware of it. And then we send out, the petition, we send out the summons. Sometimes we have to pay for the process server, which usually is just the sheriff.
yeah.
So, here in Georgia, it's $50 for a sheriff to go out and do it, and sometimes you can get process servers that'll do it a little bit cheaper. Just if they're getting a good quantity, sometimes they can do it a little bit cheaper to
Right.
keep their people up and running. So
Right. And I can't and I don't really know what your volume is of process servers there. I mean, I know we've got, special delivery, which is what I use here in Dallas. So
you can't use special delivery. It has to be handed to the person in person.
No, that's the name of the company. They
Gotcha.
we go, hi, we want this and we want it served at this person, and then they do like 4 or 5 attempts.
Yeah, there's like ABC Legal that'll do that kind of stuff, but they can be
Right.
pain in the ass to deal with.
Oh, it can be so fun, but I love reading the affidavits when people have tried to evade it. They're so good. I'm like, dude, shut up, whatever, just stop it,
Well,
stop it.
And the thing is this is people that are possibly getting money. So whenever they try to evade it, it's just don't be stupid.
Weird,
You're going to get money. So why are you?
right? Just shut up, Meg.
I had one that said, "Hey, can you not send the police to my place?" Well, if you'll do this, if you'll do an acknowledgement of service, then I'll be happy to
We'll
email
jam.
it to you. And then they go, you send them the acknowledgement, and they don't respond, and you're like, okay. And you contact them again, they don't respond. You're like, all right, well,
So dumb.
last chance. Now I'm going to send a cop out to
Right.
go knock on your door. And then they call you up. Why didn't you send a cop out there? Well, let's see. The
'Cause
two
you were
emails I thought were plenty. The conversation
weren't
on the
responsive,
phone.
and you weren't responsive, and you didn't play ball. So guess what? We let you know every which way. Sounds like a you problem. Moving right along.
Oh yeah,
It gets ridiculous. I don't know.
yeah.
People-
I've got one that's in China, or maybe he's in California. He's Chinese in California. Maybe, I don't know. It's really weird.
Sounds about right.
But we
Just my mom grew up in San Francisco, and she's part Chinese, and just like tons of Chinese there. So
Well, the person that actually did the first part of it, whenever he set it up, this person owned maybe 15, 20 properties. And so he was doing each individual one if he would have just done one bundled one, because the way that the law is set up in the state of Georgia, especially on these interpleters, if it's the same entity on there, you can file it as one because the case involves one particular person. You don't have to file an individual one. This way you get one judge. You only have to communicate with the person one time, maybe two.
Which makes sense.
But no, they decided to run each one of them individually.
Oh, Jesus God.
And so they were only able to get service on like the first couple. An acknowledgement of
like
service.
a big blister on my taint if I ever heard it.
There's a reason why they got fired. I mean, we get called in because people get fired from doing shit. Like dumb shit.
See, hey, job security, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course one of the people that were a big competitor against my wife, she's received 3 calls in the past like 4 days because this particular person has not responded to any of their communication. They're just like, yeah, we're done with this guy. And it's supposed to be it was the guy that was supposed to go into business with my wife that screwed her over. So she's taking the work away from him.
It was cheap lesson, eh? How's Mama Bear doing? She doing good?
Yeah, she's good. She's good.
Good.
She is
taking care of you.
She is. No, I'm taking care of her. She's tired. She's just
well.
tired.
I can imagine if she's dealing with all this trouble.
Oh no! I mean that's just a normal day. It's the odd ones that come up that that she's not able to get to, or because we also deal with doing interpleters quiet titles in Clayton County, and we get sometimes it can be. We had one that it took. We filed the motion. We filed the motion. It took a month before the clerk actually filed what we sent.
What? Did you not e-file it?
Yeah, it was e-filed. It took a month. It took a month. A month and 1 day. Yes.
I've got a question. Sorry. I've got a question.
Yeah.
We're already nerding out. We're down to 70 years, so it's cool. Like at this point, I don't care. So hold on. You e-filed it. Is there any policy and or rules or procedures for your county? Okay, that don't require them. Are you serious? So then, okay. Well then, follow-up question.
You also have to understand
follow-up question, sir.
Okay.
Follow-up question. How close is the county courthouse from you?
Probably about 45 minutes.
Okay, well then maybe you have to blow some county clerks to get it done. Is all I gotta say. You're refusing to. Okay, cool. You get that too. That's your right.
Well, and that's the other problem. If you go down there and you file it by hand, you don't get any electronic service.
Can you do for first class mail and then send it in and then have them file stamp and return?
Nope, you can only do it. You can only go in and file it by hand. Yes, if you're going to file it, you have to file it by hand. It would have taken a month and a week, and if I would have mailed it in.
This is outrageous, and I'm reserving just because I'm around you. Like when I'm around Darth, I feel more free about cursing. For whatever reason, I feel less inclined to do it around you. So I'm doing. This is outrageous.
It's outrageous bullshit.
Yeah, no, stop it. Stop it.
Why do I seem clean? Do I seem clean? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you've I've got the mouth of a sailor. So, are you serious? This is outrageous.
Well,
have you? So,
most sailors would agree.
What does the procedure say? Is there any sort of mandate?
It's the clerk. It's the clerk. It's the clerk. And it's just one particular county. Oh, and the judges aren't much quicker. We had what is it? An eviction.
Oh, they always jerk around when they can.
We did an eviction on somebody. They did an appeal, and you have 30 days, I believe it was, to actually file the appeal. They filed the appeal. In the meantime, the court ordered that they would be basically paying rent if they filed an appeal for
What?
$800 a month. Okay.
Oh, hear that dripping? That's my asshole bleeding for you. Get over it.
So $800. They filed the appeal. When this is finished, because let's see, March 23rd, it was a year from the time that the appeal was filed. Or was it March, April? It was April that the appeal was filed. And we will not be seeing a judge until April.
I want to shake all of them like Sid's babies. This is frustrating to hear. Internally, this is frustrating. and I thought that we were bad.
Well, and what it is, and it's not that the judges are trying to
I don't care.
like do pretty much what they want to do.
Pattern.
They just have a remarkably large caseload.
Well, then I understand. I get that, and I can appreciate that. At the same time, I have thoughts.
Well, and this
It's an unreasonable expectation because people continue to bleed money, and at that point, then you do a motion and stay or something of the like in order to secure that people aren't continuing to incur. But even at that point, business is going to operate as usual. So it's kind of it's hey, don't stab me. And COVID created such a big weight on courts. I was hearing in Dallas County how that they were like, they were moving like two potential jurors at a time. I'm like, oh, shut up, Meg. Like, whatever. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's Georgia. That's where I was going with this. So in Georgia, because my wife, she's sort of seen how she's going to be able to, how much she can do without actually having to be in court. And if she can get away with showing up in court on almost everything and can just do it, via Zoom, she's ready to move. She's so ready to move. Just, she had to deal with someone. She had to deal with someone that's an attorney that has physically intimidated her, like gotten up in her face and threatened, and also somebody that spent some time in jail for assault.
See, I'm kind of the dickhead that would be like, come for me and let me find out who you are, and let me let everybody know who you are, and we will continue to track you and come for me. Fuck around and find out. Sorry to script your stream, but FAFO. Really. Come for me. I do not take kindly to bullies, especially when I live righteously. Again, and I say this all the time just because I want to reaffirm. Not self-righteously, righteously, where I try to live good, because it's really hard at times to be good. And it's so easy to be an asshole.
Well, and it's also one of those things where my wife, if she wouldn't have been able to do it online, I was going to go down with her.
As you should.
Because
that's a good man.
Because I carry.
Good for you.
And I was like, if you're having to go down to the court, if you're going to have to go down to court and deal with this person, because I know who it is, I was like, you're going to deal with this person. I'm going down with you, and I will be carrying, and he will he will not step within 5 feet of you.
You're a good man. That's what you do. That's what you do.
So it pushed her to go and get her just get it done online. She wasn't going to play. So I'm
gonna start clipping Eric's face. I crush you. I crush you.
I'm crushing your head. So did you see my short?
Show it. Where? Who shot who in the what?
My short.
Bye, Rabbit. We love you.
Bye, Rabbit. I'll be joining you over on the Expert, so I'll be checking it out.
I'll probably be there too because Why not?
Why not? But you saw it, right? Here, I'll
I think I did, but you know what? Just look. I've got horrible memories, so we can blame it on all sorts of things. But
okay.
we're gonna take responsibility because that's what people like school shooters fail to do. So I'm gonna just say that I suck.
Here you go.
Come on, show me. Thank you, kind sir. Here's music.
Keep watching.
Did you do that?
I got a switch in my head. I go from living to dead. You got me seeing all red. Now I'm becoming a threat. I fucking heard what you said. I'll make you have some regrets. And no, I never forget. So now you have a few debts. That shit, it needs to be paid with blood or some sort of pain. You got a permanent stain, which has determined your fate. I've never seen so clear. I feel the end and it's near. The day of reckoning's here. The sound of deafening fear.
Hold on. Is that your personal experience with that?
Yeah.
And you picked that music?
Yeah.
So is that your jam? Okay, so we
No,
gotta
my style of music.
that's your style of music. Okay, cool. So that is.
I just thought that was that the music was.
I you know what? I really did like the Shark. Not a big fan of the music, have to say.
Yeah, I don't like the music either.
I
But
jokingly
it just fits so well.
Oh, okay. I jokingly tell people that I've got a bad personality but great taste. I like it. I'm gonna have to send you some. I've got to send you some stuff. We'll have to shoot some music.
See, I like music.
I do too.
And I would have. The only problem is the free stuff that you can actually use.
Gotcha.
So I was like, I can't. There's certain music that I wanted to have going on there, but
I want you to look into two people I'm going to send you.
it's the licensed stuff.
I gotcha. Okay. Well. This is the thing, though. This is something I've been kind of interested in, is creating music because that's my jam. Like we've talked about this.
Yeah. For
our friends and just free licensure. I don't give a crap about what you do with it. I just sent you two bands. Well, sort of. I mean, if you're into that, but it's. I don't know. I'm thinking we're talking because also Eric and I, we busted out everything. I'm about to bust out. We've been making room in the middle room for my drum set to put it up again. And I'm really excited. So we're going to do that, but we'll see. And I want to do something that communally benefits everybody because I don't gain any prosper, and I mean just personal. I don't mean financial. If my buddies don't get something from it, so I want to jam with you about it a little bit more. And I think there are some good ideas, and that you and I both deal in legal, so there are some movements there, and we're both. Well, I don't know if you are. I am the local jailhouse lawyer. I always go. I'm not an attorney. I can't give you legal advice, but I probably have the form.
Exactly.
Or I refer you to the right person. You're such a good dude. Really, you're such a good dude.
I try.
And you really are. And it's real. And I'm not saying it's not hard for you, or not. But I jokingly say, but I mean it, that it's easy to be an asshole. It's hard to be good because of some of the things that life throws at you, and you go, I could just take the short road. But really, there's something about just doing it right and doing it in the long, doing the long. What do you call it? The long.
Taking the road less traveled.
I don't know about all that, but
that's what I usually do.
I think of my mom my mom looking at me when I was little, and she was like, "Well, she was like, well, this'll help you build character." I looked at her and I went, "I already have enough character."
What I'm going to do is we'll chat here in a second, but I'm going to close this bad boy down. Everybody, go check out The Expert. I'm going to have to do a little bit of a rewind on him and then watch it in twice the speed so I can catch up to where he's at. Because I like The Expert. He's fun to
He is. He's aces. He's such a good dude.
Yes, he is. But what
And
we're going to do is we're going to end this bad thing right here. So I want everybody say hello to B Flair. Go check out her channel.
Oh, please don't, because there's nothing there. There's a JFK.
It's so awesome. We're going to get her like thousands of subs.
There's a JFK video, and then there are pictures of my 2 cats that I call 2 cats, 1 tub. That's like about it. Okay. So we're going to like and subscribe to you. There's nothing to subscribe to there. There really isn't.
Everybody that's
and I greatly appreciate it.
To me. Everybody here is already subscribed to me. Why wouldn't they be?
I like being a co-pilot. Like you and Darth are my buddies.
Yeah, Darth is awesome.
And Frog.
And as much as I like to give him a hard time, or he gives me a hard time, I still think he's a great guy.
Busting balls is a part of a male friendship in general.
And he's got such a great insight on.
He does. He's so good. He's so good. He's my buddy. He's my bestie.
That's what we like. That's what we like to see, you know. And
he left.
I know he got in a little bit of a spat with Cool Frog or something. I don't know what it was all about.
Not my farm.
But I'm just like, you know what? It doesn't matter because I like both you guys and I want to support both you guys. So,
and see, I don't know anything about it, so it's so good. And that you're the not peacekeeper, just you're the thoroughfare, and that you keep it. Look, they can represent themselves. You look at them, peace out. Like figure it out for yourselves. Well, you want free thinkers? Cool. Like you inspire it. So that's awesome.
All right, let's show these folks some love, y'all.
And Shelly's awesome. T3.
Yes. Peace, y'all.
Exude